It's a 40-point first quarter for them. Just defensively, kind of what do you see on the perimeter that was allowing them to kind of get into the lane?
I mean, we missed a lot of shots, so it seemed like that. They played at a fast pace. They was able to get out, and we just weren't good in transition. And they got behind us, got into the paint. We didn't help the helper. Just wasn't sharp. You know, they had us spread out. They got behind us, like I said. They made threes, and we just didn't do a good job.
Doc was saying at some point, even if shots aren't falling, there needs to be a stop the other way. So just aside from transition defense, I mean, what prevented that? I guess from you guys being able to string together a couple, because it wasn't like they were crashing the glass and there wasn't turnovers like.
Yeah. I think just the pace that they played at. You know, regardless if it was a make or a miss, they just pushed it out. And you know, I think we didn't get back with enough urgency. You know, with the pace that they played at. I think that's what it comes down to. So a lot of times we were off balance, thinking that, you know, we was gonna have a moment to relax, and they was cutting, attacking. We knew that they liked to attack from the slots. We knew that they cut out the corners, and we was just seemed like we was caught by surprise by a lot of that stuff. And they just, you know, they, like I said, the pace that they played at, how fast they were moving. You know, we were just a step slow, and they had that all night.
I'd say in all 5 games thus far, I think teams have full court pressed you specifically to try to keep the ball in your hands. And Doc said you guys talked about it in the offseason. From your perspective, are you liking how you guys have handled it, not liking it? Because he said, like, well, if they're going to take Dame, then it's 4-on-4 for Giannis coming downhill, and we'll live with that. But I guess just for you, like, how does it feel? Like, do you feel like you're not maybe getting involved in the game in the way that you want? Like, how does that make you feel, like, kind of personally, offensively?
I think obviously if they're doing that, you know, they're putting 2 people on the ball at the inbound. They don't want me to have it, and I think, you know, we've had that conversation of if 2 guys are going, you know, commit to me so I can't get the ball. If we throw the ball in to Giannis and we're playing, you know, basically 4-on-4, and he has that kind of space, you know, that should be to our advantage where if he's not scoring, they're helping, and we're getting good looks from 3, or easy looks, and then eventually they'll come out of it. But I think when we aren't making them pay, you know, they're gonna stay committed to it. So for me, I think it is harder to get into a rhythm because they're not. You know, on one hand, I don't want to fight it so hard, you know, and be thirsty to try to get the ball, and then on the flip side, it's like you look up and, you know, it's 4 minutes left. I'm about to come out the game, and I haven't gotten much done. And then, you know, the opportunities where I am on the ball, I don't want to, you know, come out and try to force something just because I finally got it or I'm finally in situations. Because we've talked about our ball movement and not having the ball stick, and me being a point guard, you know, I'm always try to be the example of that. So a lot of times, you know, where I was in some actions, you know, they pulled over, I was making the flow pass, the advance pass, the kicks, hitting the pocket. I was doing that, and it just ended up being that type of game. You know, I think it's just, you know, it's a tougher game to get into rhythm. So I think we could probably be better about when that situation does happen, like what is the secondary action that we can get into to where, you know, I'm still in the mix, you know, a little bit more consistent.
Is that a speed thing? And what I mean by that is either the inbounding decision has to be quicker, and if it's you recognizing I'm doubled, it goes this way, and then it's run.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, just take off, and if there's nothing there, then, you know, maybe I'm coming back toward the ball. A lot of times tonight, you know, we've just been trying to pick our pace up. So a lot of times tonight, I ended up just jumping the ball in and being the guy taking it out, knowing that it was going to be 2 guys face guarding me, trying to deny me from getting the ball. So, I mean, for me, we trying to get on the right track. So, you know, I'm trying to do the right things, I guess, you know, do whatever I can do to, I guess, generate something positive so we can just get it going in the right direction. And sometimes that means sacrifice and, you know, not be worried about myself and try to just do whatever I can so that we could try to just win a game. And then you go from there, and I think we just haven't done that yet.
As a team, how do you try to avoid I mean, pressing, right? And like shots aren't falling, and your guys are already 1-3, and you can kind of. How do you try to fight back against that? I'm sure it's hard, kind of in the game, in the moment.
It's hard because, I mean, my entire career, I've always been somebody who, like, if I can do one thing, I can take over. I can take over a game. And, I think I've joined a new team, and the situation is different. And I understand it is different, so I have to try to, find a way to not just go back to what I've always done, because it's probably not always necessary, or probably not necessary at all. So I think that's probably the most difficult part, is like when things seem like it's getting out of control or the going is getting tough, I'm able to put my hands on it a little bit more. And I think just not really being in that role is, it's a little bit more difficult. It's more of a process to figure out for me.
Back on that defensive end and transition, Doc had said, he's like, there are some discipline breakdowns. And he's like, that's on. He's like, something I'm saying isn't sort of filtering down yet. And I got to figure that out. I guess, is there something you can put your finger on in terms of just the getting back and the transition? Because it was sort of tightened up, I guess, last year when he came in. And I don't know, I'm guessing the principles are somewhat similar. So is there anything?
I mean, I think just, sometimes the ball is, we shoot and we think, it looked like Giannis or Brook might get it, so we waiting around. And then the ball gets tipped and then they gone. And because we was waiting around, maybe at the three-point line, there's guys running out, getting behind us. We're not seeing where guys are, so somebody is running to an open spot and we just don't see them. Taking stabs in the backcourt, somebody gets the ball, we run up to the ball thinking we're going to get a steal or stop the ball, and now you're behind the play. Just stuff like that. I think we've had that problem over these first 5 games, and each time that it's happened, we've gotten hurt by it. So I think that's what he's talking about. That's just the undisciplined plays and decisions that we make and give a team an advantage.
Can you just talk about, obviously coming up, you're going to be playing the Cavs back-to-back. They're undefeated right now, but they have a game tomorrow, so it may not be the same as Saturday, but talk about just preparing for them.
I think it's the way I look at it is, we've lost 4 in a row, and I think usually when you get back on track, you need a tough situation to happen. It would be, easy for us to come in here tonight and think, oh, they got a couple guys out, we're gonna win this game, and then it goes the way it went. But I think coming back home, we regroup. We know that it's a really tough team. They're playing well, a really good team, so we know we got to come correct. And I think those usually are the type of challenges that you need and situations that you need to kind of get out of what we're in. I thought we played really well against Boston, aside from a few stretches. But we leveled up to that competition for the most part, and I think we got to look at this game the same way and try to go and knock them off, and get back on track.